Hovey's Knives of China, First Production Knives, William Hovey Smith, 2016. This is Hovey Smith, the Backyard Sportsman. I'm also the owner and founder of a new company, Hovey's Knives of China, where we are taking knives of ancient patterns, some over 1 million years old, and making them out of modern materials for today's cooks and chefs. What I'm talking about are these blades I have on the table before me. These are unlike any seen today. These are so old that their reintroduced knives are now brand new. No one makes a knife like this. No one has made a knife like this for some 1,000 years or more. And why am I doing it? I am not interested in fantasy knives. I'm not interested in fancy knives. I am very much interested in functional knives. These knives underwent in their day hundreds and in some cases thousands of years of R&D development in actual use in kitchens. They were developed to be very effective knives in their day. The use of steel has replaced these patterns with others. But nonetheless, the designs were very excellent indeed. And I have a large number of videos showing each of these patterns of knives in actual use. Yeah. You can go to YouTube today and you can see a video about this knife and this knife and this knife and so on, each of them. And they also show you how each of them was derived. But just to show you some new and unique features about these knives. As a class, almost all of my knives have this very distinctive handle, which is an oval here rather than being a circular ring that is pierced. This is designed to go in the palm of the hand like this. So the knife is grasped like this in the work. You have absolute control over it in this way. It will not twist in the hand. These ovals are also very useful for hanging the knives. And that's how they were originally used. They were not put in a knife block that takes up space on a counter working space. I mean, these were hung up either on the side of a butcher block or by the workstation and taken down and replaced as needed. This way you could have a variety of knives in hand at any given time. This particular point, which I call a scooped point, is designed so it can be taken in the hand like this. And this very thin, sharp point be used to cut very delicate tracery in doughs, in pressed meat, or anything else. Or if you were sculpturing a figure, as a sculptor's point. This happens to be the largest and most impressive of all the blades. This is my cabbage and duck chopper. Unlike steel knives where you actually bring down force on the hands like this, these knives were originally made of bronze, and the force was exerted on the blades like this, crunch. And the long blade and this inclined handle here allowed a lot of leverage to be exerted on the cutting board. So these are very effective cutters. Also notice that many of the blades are absolutely straight. So they go straight down on top of the cutting board and they cut cleanly. Some of these are choppers. This happens to be a slicing knife. And you notice the handle is extremely long. It's designed to be grasped like this. This allows the hand to be away from a piece of meat that you're slicing. off a vertical rack. If you have a roast hanging up like this and you're slicing it, or if you have a carcass, if you have a lamb, if you have a sheep or something like this, then you can carve up like this and slice pieces off, and your hand is well away from the carcass. So you don't get grease splattered, hot grease, by the way, all over your hand. Then you can take the slices of meat with a sharp point, pick them up, lay them on a plate. Double utility out of both blades. On this blade, with this unusually large flat point here, what I call a truncated point, this is my pepper and small veggie knife. And this is very useful for scraping. It's very useful for mixing things in a bowl. You can't do that with a you can't do that with a conventional blade. Or even scooping up and serving like that. You don't have to have a spatula. Look. Much utility in these knives. This one is what I call my chef's friend. In this knife, this is designed for a small hand, smaller than mine, but is ideal for a chef because it's perfect for cutting small fruits and vegetables. If a chef goes to a catering gig, doesn't want a knife with a point. The points are dangerous. If this knife was to fall on the table onto a guest or something, this could go through a shoe or into a leg. So it's blunted point, but it's also used for scraping. It's useful for spreading. It can be used for cut. If you need to make up some sandwiches in a hurry, look for little hors d'oeuvre sandwiches and spread stuff on them, this is all the blade you need. It is extremely distinctive in shape and size. No one could mistake it for anybody else's knife but yours. Also, has a convenient ring. Another convenient thing about this shape, if you have spices or salt or something like that in a little bowl like this, and you need to break them up, guess what you got? You have a pencil. Yeah. Break up your spices. Spread them around. Make your mix. Spread it on some bread. Boom! You got it done, guys. Now this is the medium-sized blade, made for hands more like the size of mine. And this happens to be the double-edge ground version. And this serves the same purpose. It also has a little rest right here for the thumb, so you could use it for carving or shaving if you wish. Now I particularly like and find it more effective with the single grind blade. The single grind blade is here. This surface is absolutely flat. And this is used for much the same purposes as the chef's friend here. But it can handle larger sized vegetables more comfortably and more comfortably fits a larger hand. Now these knives with single grinds, we make them in left and right-handed versions. Not unheard of, but pretty rare in the knife making industry. This particular blade is one of several which we have designed after the Acheulean hand axe of 1.7 million years ago. This is designed to be a point and basically a cutting blade that is grasped in the hands like this and is used to cut out designs and a small edge right here for a little final cutting on the work. In actuality, in the production knives, this part of the edge is going to be ground flat, so if you should put your fingers here, you'll not cut yourself. Like I put my hand down there, no. That will be ground flat. So this can be used all by itself to dress and skin an animal. Yeah, this is all you need. Right here. Plump. Don't need these great big long buoy things. This will do very fine for dressing any North American game just about, and do just about every task you need to do except break bone. Yes, sir. So these are the knives that I'm going to be introducing at the International Blade Show in Atlanta in the Cobb Galleria on June 3 through 5, 2016. And these are the knives that are the basis of an ongoing Kickstarter project, which will end on June the 5th. If you want one of these knives, there are two ways you can get them. I'm starting a new company. It's going to take me a while to get these knives ready to make in production, and when I do, these are going to be very expensive knives indeed. The least expensive among them will be $200. These are handmade knives. I can't sell them for $7 or $8. Sorry guys. But I am going to be selling the blanks for these knives as rewards in the Kickstarter project. So you can buy a blank of this blade right now, cut from stainless steel, and I will ship it to you, and you can finish your own knife by grinding the blade as well as hardening it in a quench of hot oil. And I'll have some YouTube videos on exactly how you do that. So all you basically need is a grinder and some stones, files, and some patience, a little bit of skill. Yes, and you can make this knife right here. These handle knives are also going to be available as blanks, as a reward for your Kickstarter pledge. And these will need, in addition, to be handled. So this requires a little more skill, a little more work. Basically, it can be done with a grinder though, and an electric drill, because you will need to hollow out this. This ring in the metal will already be formed, but you'll need to work the wood to fit the ring. Okay? And you may break a couple of handles. But even so, when you get through, you will have a knife. This will be a several $100 knife when I sell it as a signature blade. And you can make it yourself for much, much, much less than that. The same goes for these other blades. So if you can have the blanks, you can have them delivered in about a month or less. You can be working on your knives, and you'll actually have your knives finished before I'm ready to produce the first of our custom signature blade. The rights to produce these knives are also going to be sold to other companies worldwide and to individual knife makers. And they will produce knives under my name, Hovy, and some of them, the best of them, will even have the rights to use my stamps on their blades. But they will pay me a royalty fee for each knife produced. In this way, these knives are going to be rapidly introduced throughout the world market, made in a variety of places by, I hope, a very large number of workmen. So if you wish to pledge right now, you'll be able to get the blanks for these styles of knives almost immediately, and be able to work on and finish your own, and incidentally, handle them with some wood or antler or whatever that has particular meaning to you. Yeah. There's a piece of wood from an old homestead you want to put on here? Yeah. If there's a piece of antler from a deer that was broken off and or too ugly to mount or whatever, yeah. Or any other piece of wood that records the pleasures of a hunt or a trip or a visit, yes. These can be used to handle these knives. And they become something very, very personal to you, because you will have in fact made it. These knives, as you'll see in my many videos, are tools to be used to produce dishes of character and quality for your family. All the more special it will be if you in fact made the knife yourself. And you can. Another positive aspect, if you are unemployed, if you have metalworking skills, if you've been wondering about what can I do to earn some bucks, you can make these knives. Yes, you can. I will sell blanks You can grind them, you can fit them, you can sell them on the market. If they meet my specs, then yeah, you'll pay me a small royalty, but you'll get 95% of the income from it. This is not part of the Kickstarter project. This is just how I work my business model. But now, this is Hovey Smith, reminding you to hunt what you eat and eat what you hunt. Be legal, be ethical, be safe. Goodbye, God bless, and see you next time.
My interest in knives goes back for decades for practical cooking uses. And I have chapters on knives on all of my outdoor books, including backyard deer hunting, crossbow hunting, extreme muzzleloading, and also invented some very interesting edge tools in conjunction with even bow fishing. I also have a new series of books in the Profit series, and the first of these happens to be Ideas for New Businesses on how to start your own million or billion-dollar business, of which this is one practical example. And here is a blurb about me and about this series of books. Now, so far as the Kickstarter project is concerned, now pledges can be made by going to www.kickstarter.com and just searching for Hovey's Knives. Now, rewards start at $25 and go up to $550, and this appeal will end on June the 5th. Now, I'll also exhibit at the Cobb Galleria, and there's information about that now. Good hunting and good eating from the outdoors. Goodbye, and God bless.